now 20 years in the making, we've put together Parkwood Place. It's here in Old Town, and clearly we wanted to be compatible with and merge into the Old Town vernacular with this mining Victorian architecture, which doesn't have a lot of detail. But we also wanted to bring a little more contemporary feel to some of its elements, and we infused some of the industrial mining elements from the architecture that used to exist here back in the turn of the century. The overall fusion of elements was supposed to be a fusion of the arts and crafts, that bungalow style, the Victorian mining architecture, and these industrial elements, those three things together, and finding a balance within those that created their own unique expression. On Park Avenue, we obviously had some historic homes that we had to get out of the way, and we moved them across the street and gave them a home there whilst we built this platform, this parking structure upon which all this sits, this new artificial grade. And then we had to bring them back, and they got a whole new life. And so on Park Avenue, we have three historic homes, 801, 811, and 815, that have been here forever, and forever relative to Park City. 815 was Dr. Cook's old house. 811 used to be the old McBride residence, and 801 was one of the last boarding houses here in town, right at the foot of the Coalition building where all the mining took place. When you look at the house from the street, what's so amazing is it does look like a small bungalow house somewhere in a historic district.
Outside they take on that bungalow. Inside they all take on completely different architecture and design. I
didn't think a mountain timber would look appropriate. I didn't think high contemporary would be necessarily an appropriate solution. And so we're trying to come up with something, even on the interior expression, that felt like it worked in Old Town, but at the same time felt new. Some of them are functional elements, which I think are rare in Old Town, like the garage structure, which has garages within the garages so that each person has their own private motor court and entry into their space. And others of them are more aesthetic in the way that we infuse these different expressions.
We have a lot of green movement products in a couple of the units. One of them actually wanted to strive to be LEED certified. We have a full LED lighting system, photovoltaic solar panels. All the lumber is FSC certified. Finishes are reclaimed and FSC certified. Hickory, fir, cherry, everything. There's three houses that have that are complete, complete historic houses that we just lifted up off and did a foundation underneath them. Those are, that's as reclaimed as you can be.
My favorite design idea is two things: the door casing, because it's so simple and so bungalow, and the corner timber window detail. It's a timber frame deal with windows in between the timbers, and it's so precise. It was built so precise that it just clean and nice.
Across the street, there are those heavy industrial elements that are part of the vernacular over there. And so we were trying to create a connection, because this zone right here is supposed to be a transition between the historic residential and the general commercial right across the street. But overall, it had to keep that feel of 8 separate houses so that it had the scale and grain of the overall historic district, because I don't think it would have looked right if we had just slapped a big building right here on the site. With 8 separate homes, each one is entirely different. Each volume, when you walk into the main space, is different. The floor plans in general are laid out totally different. And so it's not a cookie cutter approach that one would expect in a single project like this.